Hi, good morning, everybody. This is Katie Chuba from the Hartland Area Chamber of Commerce. Actually, good afternoon. It's officially noon. We're just going to hang tough here for a few minutes while we allow our attendees to join us for today's April 30th Zoom at noon. I'm just kind of watching the numbers climb as everyone signs on. So thanks again for joining us. The purpose of the Zooms at noon are every Tuesday and Thursday to interact with our local business leaders and owners to give us an update on their business and their thoughts and kind of the processes and initiatives that they're doing to either help cope or get through or plan through this pandemic that we're all experiencing. I'm just kind of watching the numbers climb for attendees. So we appreciate your patience and just kind of hanging tough. I hope you all are doing good today. I know it's a little dreary out, but I think we're in for a really nice weekend. So hopefully everyone will get outside and enjoy the sunshine. So we'll go ahead and get started. Thanks again for joining us for our Zoom at noon. Hartland Chamber is going to try to do this every Tuesday and Thursday with business leaders and owners in our community to shed some light and hopefully help you with your business or what you're going through and answer any questions you may have when it comes to kind of reopening and joining forces together to make this better and get us up and going. So today I'm thankful that I'm joined today by Hartland Township. So we have Bill Fountain, our supervisor. Say hi, Bill.
Good morning, afternoon, I should say.
And we have our township manager, James Wickman.
Hello, everyone.
And Kathy Horning, our township treasurer.
Hey, everybody.
And Larry Tofu, our clerk, township clerk. So thank you, Larry.
Good afternoon.
So today, Bill's going to start us off with kind of what's going on at the township and an update, and he'll kind of run with it and take it from there. If you have questions, we're going to do a little Q&A towards the end. So please just type in your question on the Q&A part, and we will get to your question. Okay, Bill, take it away. Thanks again for joining us today at our Zoom at noon. So thanks.
Well, thank you very much. And on behalf of everybody in our community, I hope everybody's safe and getting through this. And I actually wanted to start, first of all, thanks to Katie and New for all the things that you're doing, these Zoom meetings like this. I can't tell you how important I think they are for everybody, because you can still feel a little bit like you're a team. You can see somebody's face, you can see their actions and their smile. And I think I'm getting very, very concerned about the mental health. I had a real good friend of mine that he took his life last week, a business owner, and it still has really shaken me up in our entire industry. He was actually the vice president of our organization. And I just had it this morning. I had a little time with about a dozen of our young staff who are going to work at our bag drop here at the golf course. And we were talking about safety, and we were talking about how different this is, everything that we're going through, and how challenging this is. And getting a little emotional with this, but at the end of the day, it's really the first time I've sat with a dozen teenagers. And I kind of just almost started crying, because I said, I feel so sorry for you young folks at this point. And then I asked them what grade they were in, and half of them were seniors going on to college. And then the other half are juniors, and what they're missing out on, and what we are, the business part is difficult enough. But these young kids, I'm really concerned about our well-being, and we really need to start continuing to do these types of things to interact. And I told all of them, I said, we really need to randomly be just texting your friends and ask them how they're doing. And I think it's important that we do that as business people as well. Just stop by, and I know I've talked to Joe Mackel a couple different times just to reach out and say hi. And I think I'm going to end this kind of sad part of this at this point, but at the end of the day, I think we really need to do what we do very well in Hartland, and we are friendly by nature. I don't think any of us take that lightly, especially in a time like this, and people are hurting, and businesses are uncertain as we go forward, and we need to all be here for each other. So with that, I thought I would bring along our team, our administration team, with James and Larry and Kathy here today, and just talk about a few things that we're working on at the township level. The first thing we did, and James, I might have you put up the resolution. We did a resolution at our township board meeting about a week and a half ago, and it really, we're reaching out to the governor and really giving our focus that it's not just a health issue. The importance of our businesses sometimes I don't think gets enough attention at this point. So this is just a copy of it. It just kind of shows what we actually sent out to the governor. And again, it wasn't demeaning in any fashion. It was supporting actions, and Livingston County doesn't quite have the numbers that some of our neighboring communities have. And basically we're promoting the safe opening of our businesses in our community, and understanding the repercussions that these difficult decisions that everybody's making, what that can have over the long haul. So if you want to see that, it was unanimously voted on at our last meeting, and this would be available at our website, heartlandtwp.com, if you wanted to see what was actually sent out. So most of the things that we actually spoke about in that document have actually already is being engaged at the state level. So again, we're trying to do everything we can. If there's anything that we can do locally for any of the businesses in our community, please reach out to us. And if there's things that we can do that can assist in your daily lives and everything else, please feel free to give us a shout. So with that, I'm going to turn this next section over to Manager Wickman. And James, if you want to talk a little bit about Spark and EDC and all those programs that we have going on.
Yes, thanks, Bill, and happy to be here and glad to see everybody being so resilient and adopting this technology. I think this technology has been great for the chamber, and the chambers are working well together to use this to reach out with the resources that are available to you. I've been studying a lot of those issues lately. As you may know, I'm honored to serve as the chair this last couple of years of the Economic Development Council of Livingston County. And as such, I'm also on the executive board for Ann Arbor Spark. And the chambers have been working together with Spark and the EDC to bring that information to our small businesses. And I think this is a time when I hope everybody gets to see a little bit more clearly the investment that the funding partners of the EDC paying off and being able to help with those. We also had about $168,000 in grant money that quickly came to Livingston County, and through committee, we were able to disseminate that to and several $5,000 grants to small businesses throughout the county. I was happy to be a part of that process as well. I think kudos to everybody all around and working hard and getting those resources. In fact, as I was studying the issues in those early weeks in particular, just as I was getting myself familiar with the CARES Act and the different programs that were coming through, just as soon as I learned it, I saw emails from Katie to all of you on how to get in touch with those resources as well. So thank you for that.
And again, as we just go through these few items, we're going to have question and answers here. And I just wanted to have an opportunity for everybody just kind of get a flavor of how we're handling our day-to-day operations at the township during this brand new times. So thank you, James, on that. Kathy, you wanted to report a little bit on our sewer and water bills and some of the things that we've taken to proactively assist.
Sure. One thing, I'm really amazed at how well the township is functioning remotely. We're staggering employees when you have to go in and do something, but most of us are able to do a lot of our work remotely. And we're here, we're responding to the residents, emails, phone, everything. It's running pretty smoothly. We had our first board meeting in April on Zoom, and now we're not having our first meeting in May, but the second one, May 19th, we're hoping maybe we can have it live. We'll see. If not, it'll be another Zoom meeting. But on that agenda, we have placed a resolution that is going to waive all late fees for all of our utility bills, water and sewer, until the beginning of our next cycle, which is August 1st. For some of the business owners with large water and sewer bills, I think this is a great thing that we were able to do. I'm sure it will pass, but it's on the agenda, and everybody will be able to pay up till August 1st.
Thank you. And Larry, I was going to have a couple questions for you. First of all, just briefly, if you wanted to obtain a passport, maybe how you'd follow to get one of those if you're interested. And then the other one was maybe just a quick update on elections that'll be in August.
Regarding passports, we here at the Township Hall, the offices are closed, so it's difficult for us to do passport applications. However, post offices that are still open are still processing applications. I believe the Highland Post Office is doing so. If you do encounter any major issues or problems getting an appointment, and that we can specifically set up an appointment to process your passport application if you're looking at doing something down the road. So again, we can still do passport applications, but we would right now be referring you to the post office, who are technically open for business. Regarding the elections, as most people know by now, the Hartland School Board, in concern for safety of the township residents and the election workers, have pulled their bond proposal from the May 5th election by canceling the May 5th election in Hartland. More than likely, we'll have their proposal on the August election. The Secretary of State has informed all of the clerks that the August elections are to be scheduled as a normal election, with precincts, all 5 precincts open at the old high school and the AB Counting Board here at the Township Hall. That may be subject to change. We would encourage voters to vote absentee, even if these polls are open, just for concerns of safety of, again, township residents and election workers. For the August 4th election, the applications for an absentee ballot should be on the state website and the Hartland Township website sometime around June 1st. Ballots for that election usually will go out about 45 days prior to the August 4th election date.
Thank you. And James, could you just briefly explain how we're doing our daily business at the township? Like, you know, you're meeting with your staff, everybody at 9 o'clock in the morning, and some of the other particulars that how you're dealing with this?
I certainly can. First, I do want to put a plug in for elections. We can always use election inspectors, and even for that August election coming up. The unfortunate reality is that a lot of our election inspectors are that at-risk community. So if there's any time for anybody to step up and volunteer, that would be it. We'll be pushing some more information to social media and whatnot beforehand. As Kathy mentioned, our staff is active, engaged, working, responding, and serving the residents. We've made a number of strategic investments over the years in technology, and that is paying off right now in that we're able to give everybody a laptop to work from home, and they're doing that. We, as a director team, we connect every morning this way at first thing in the morning, just to get everybody up and going, and then stay in touch. It's hard work. I know all of you know that. And these video conferences, having to make a whole lot more phone calls and text messages in order to accomplish the same task as you would in the building, but we're making it work. And I've been very pleasantly surprised by just how productive we have been despite the circumstances.
Thank you, James. And the last thing I wanted to mention to everybody that our parks are open. The restroom facilities at this point are closed and the playgrounds are closed. So please, just any touch points like that, we're trying to encourage people to social distance and stay a little bit away from each other. But I know this weekend, those parks are going to be very, very active. So everybody just be safe and enjoy them. It's supposed to be maybe even in the 70s, I think, for the first time this year. So with that, Katie, I would like to open it up to anybody that might have a question or comment.
Yeah. So if anyone has questions, go ahead and type in the Q&A. I have some questions. I'll put you guys on the spot here a little bit. So you talked about the parks. Are there like new signs or anything like that at the parks that we should be aware of, or is just we're kind of using kind of the set rules of the social distancing rules and things like that?
And James, you can explain kind of what we talked about yesterday with the Department of Public Works at our admin meeting?
Yes, the parks have been well utilized, and I see when I've been out there, I've been seeing good social distancing, and that's a wonderful thing. We have had the playground has been closed, of course, through this, and we have had a sign up, but unfortunately, I think we need to put up a couple more signs, which we will be doing. Nothing too crazy, but just ask residents to be a little bit more patient and use a good judgment when they're out in the parks.
Awesome.
And I also forgot, I really should have talked about reopening plans that we're looking at. I'm sure everybody is doing that for them. Whenever we do get a green light, the reality is that Hartland Township Hall is not necessarily a place that, at least for the next couple of months, that we absolutely have to be open to the public. Much of the work that we do can be done through email, phone calls, video conferencing. And so we're endeavoring to do that. So you may see that our opening up is a little slower than others just because we don't necessarily need to. And we want to, of course, look out for the health and safety of our residents as well as our employees the best we can. But certainly as the tax bill season and as election season comes around, we'll have to do what we can to safely open.
So I'm glad you mentioned that, James. Has the township thought of, and this goes to any businesses really, because here at the chamber, I'm thinking about, okay, and I'm going to share just for everyone listening. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but I promise there's a point. I got a great email this morning from the Michigan Chamber talking about your preparing and having a response plan for when you do reopen. So here at the chamber, we're writing things down and coming up with, policies and rules and how to manage the public, how to manage, ourselves in the office and things like that. So I'm wondering, has the township put some thought or put some pen to the paper about, what do those processes look like in dealing with, your staff, new rules, policies for, keeping distance, sanitation, and do you have to follow certain guidelines out there that are, kind of pushed down on government facilities?
Absolutely. We've spent the last couple of weeks as a director team talking about those very topics. What does it look like? In that couple of weeks, of course, there's always new information, new data, and new guidance coming at us. So we've been intentionally a bit slow in coming up with those ideas, although we've talked through a number of different scenarios. So I have an outline of a plan, and in the next couple of weeks, we'll be putting meat on those bones as far as specifics, probably looking at some phases of because again, we don't have to be open in order to do what we do. So there may be a period where Township Hall has staff in it once again, but we're still not open to the public. That's how it was for the couple of weeks before everything was closed. We may be doing shifts of employees where a hybrid of people still working remotely and maybe taking alternating days in and out of the office to help promote that social distancing. We do have, of course, a good facility and plenty of room to keep social distancing. We're looking at screening procedures for employees to do self-screening each day to really, press into that question of, and we'll have no contact thermometers available for everybody to check themselves at the beginning of each day to help protect everybody involved. When we do start to phase to open, we do have a vestibule where we can have drop-off areas and even to perhaps allow folks into just the lobby area and keep that area secluded where people can drop off things in particular boxes or inquire. We could take meetings by appointments. There's a number of steps we're looking at.
Thanks, James. Yeah, we're looking into all of those as well. So I did want to share for those that are joining us today that I'm getting some really good resources. You talked about staff and employees having kind of like that checklist before they come to work. I'm waiting for one that Steve Williams from Ecto HR has already developed, and I will certainly share that. That's something all businesses, why reinvent the wheel when this document already is alive, as well as some of those other procedures that you talked about. So just kind of heads up to everyone listening, keep a lookout for some good information coming your way for taking those precautions, policies and rules, and making sure everyone's safe. So we do have some questions that came in. So if you guys are ready, Carrie Jellison is on the line with us from Jellison CPA, and she has asked, with the resolution that was sent to the governor, do you expect any feedback? And does the township have any information on any specific plans for businesses to reopen?
Well, we did get a lot of feedback, and it's surprising. Some people didn't really care for our approach. They were quite critical that we were out of our wheelhouse doing something like that. And then there was several from the other side that thought it was the right thing to do. So I think there was more, and Larry, you maybe can speak to this a little bit as well, but there were more people pleased with what we did versus maybe not so pleased.
Yes, most of the feedback that we did get was positive. Again, if you take the time to read the resolution, what we were asking for the state and the governor to do was to take into consideration all of the safety concerns, but to consider opening up businesses regionally where the COVID virus is not rampant, and again, just to get businesses back into business in a safe and expedient way. So again, I think what we had in that resolution is what you're seeing the governor talk about now in the news, is that they are looking at regional areas that aren't hot spots, and they are looking at rolling out various industries at various times. So I think we didn't really expect to get a feedback from the governor or anything like that, but I think what we did on April 21st is seemingly what's transpiring. So I don't know whether it was from us, but again, we were on the right track.
And if I can just reinforce, yes, the great majority of feedback has been positive. There's been some residents who have voiced concerns and questions, and of course, that's to be expected. We can't do anything with 100% resident agreement. That's going to happen. I could say that that resolution certainly was a result of much conversations that board members have heard from their neighbors and fellow business owners, all balancing these concerns. The intent of the resolution was never to dictate that this is how it ought to reopen. I think it was just reflective of conversations I think we've all had with our friends, family, and neighbors about head scratchers of, gee whiz, can't we do something in this space better? Is one person on a truck and a trailer and a mower really at danger? Those types of questions. And I think even of those who were critical of the resolution were, just basically saying, well, you don't know anything and the governor knows what she's doing. That's fine, because in the week that followed, as Larry suggested, the governor has been saying the exact same things that we've put forth in the resolution.
And as far as what we can do, to Carrie's second question, as the township, I'm not really sure if there's a clear answer what we can do other than continue to do everything we can, like from the sewer bills and those types of things, to offer relief where we can locally. But the county health department may have a big role in this if it starts to turn into a regionalized opening. It's just, there's so many unknowns right now, but if anybody has some ideas that we could incorporate, and please, I think that's why we're here today. A big reason is we want to hear what your thoughts and ideas are as well. So please reach out to us, email or phone, and let us know how we can assist.
One
Bill,
comment.
go ahead, Kathy.
The farmer's market is going to open on May 9th. And we've been in contact with the health department and the state to make sure we're opening the right way. All food will be packaged. The 4-H kids will not be allowed to sell their brats live. And so we will be there, and you're going to have fresh local meats and chickens and everything else. So if there becomes a shortage in beef, like they're saying last night on the news, we have a couple local sources grown right here in Hartland. So it'll be good.
Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate you giving us an update on the farmer's market. I kind of slipped my mind, so I apologize. So I'm glad that you mentioned that and threw that in there. So hopefully folks will want to anxiously get out and support the farmer's market. It's important. I know a lot of people are concerned about, what are the specific plans for opening, and I know you're probably tired of hearing, we don't know, but we don't know. That's the reality. And what I'm hearing and the suggestion that I have is, in the background, come up with your plan. Be really thoughtful of your plan on when it is time to reopen, what does that look like? Again, I'm going to provide additional resources for you to help you outline your plan and what that looks like and the precautions that you need to take. And I would say if you're, we don't know when it's going to be open, but when it does, it's really important to be ready and be thoughtful on the steps that you're taking to reopen and what that looks like. And the more information we provide, you'll be able to develop that plan. So we do have a couple other questions. So James, this is kind of directed at you. Well, it is directed at you, not kind of. So the funds that Spark dispersed through the local, the local EDCs got the grant money to disperse throughout their counties. There hasn't been any communication on whether or not businesses have or have not been selected to receive any funds. I know for a fact that businesses have, if they did receive the funds. So I think they're just curious, like, how come they didn't hear anything? Where's the list? I know the list is available. I did see it. Is it on the Ann Arbor Spark website?
I'm not sure where that list can be found. I believe so. I can tell you, as far as I know, the funds have been dispersed and all communication has happened. That week was a flurry of activity. I was on the committee. We had to look at hundreds of applications and financial statements, and that was crazy. But actually, from what I saw, those who did not get the grant actually received communication before those who did. I saw reports of those and feedback from those who received that communication that they were not one out of the hundreds and to get it. And then it was quickly thereafter that the communication and the checks were out. So as far as I know, everything was out there. For some reason, if they did not get that communication, by all means, reach out. Now, I should say that was a grant that came down from the state to our regional economic section and then went out to the counties on a proportional basis. The Livingston County Community Foundation did add funds to that effort. Just recently, they added $10,000, and the committee just recently awarded 4 more $2,500 grants to some of those applicants that didn't receive the first round. Those funds may still be pending, but I'm pretty sure they moved quickly on that.
Okay, thank you. I did find that list, and just so everybody knows, I'm putting it in the chat, and it's a PDF, so you can click on it and download it if you want to see the list. It's the recipients in Washtenaw and Livingston County. So I did find it for you all. And don't ask me where I got that. I'm just kidding. It was buried in an email somewhere. Okay, so we have a few more questions coming in. And again, if you have questions, please, please ask. Now's the time. Oh, Carrie had also asked, do they think the governor is listening to the request?
And I should note that the resolution was addressed to both the governor and our legislators who received a copy. And again, that was part of our intent was not to try to call out any particular person. We're just a general call to Lansing to please do better.
You know,
James.
Hank and Lana Ticer, Hank Vaupel and Lana Ticer, well aware and open to people calling them. I mean, Hank said one day he fielded like 105 phone calls in a day. They are listening, they want to hear from us, and they're there for us.
Yeah, we did do a town hall with them, and it was really well attended. And I will talk to the other chambers. Maybe it's time to do another town hall and have kind of, I don't know about you, but I feel like when 3 days go by, it feels like 2 weeks, just with the information that's coming out. So I'm going to shift gears a little bit. So Bill, I think people are kind of anxious to get out and golf. Any updates on maybe walking it? I don't know.
Yeah, the governor came out last Friday and said we can have golf with walking only. And we had a nice weekend last weekend. And if you've ever played out here, every golf course is a lot different than the next one. And it's 8.5 miles around 1 through 18 out here. And when you're on a cart, it doesn't seem that long, but when you walk it for 5 hours, carrying a 30-pound bag, it's a lot of work. So I think what the frustrating part is, and I can talk a little bit about what we've done as a golf course community. We have an alliance that includes golf course owners, the Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Club Managers Association, and the PGA, along with some other affiliates like the Golf Association of Michigan. And we came together and united as a group. Hang on one second.
Trying to get golfers on the course, I think.
Yep.
Yep. So anyway, yeah, I know we're trying to do business here at the office. Anyway,
It's
at
okay.
the end of the day, we have a lot of best practices, and we have been working with Brian Calley extensively and some other people up through SBAM to try to get the ear of the governor. And so I can speak to a business that's, I would say, partially open. Pretty much the clubhouse is shut down, and with walking only, it's really a difficult way to work. We're do some minimal maintenance on the golf course itself. But I wanted to bring up the when you're bringing staff in, we are making all of our employees do a self-screen every day before they come in, and they take a screenshot of it, and you can do it. Katie, I'll send the app over to you.
Okay.
It's really easy. Then they take a picture of it and they send it in, and we put it in their file. And I'm not sure how long this is going to go. When I met the younger teenagers this morning, I said, this is all new for all of us. And I said, we have to take this very seriously. And this may become the new norm. So we do not take any cash at our business. It's all prepaid and ahead of time. So when you start thinking about opening your business, it is completely different than what we're used to. And I think we all have to take it serious, and it's hard to, in our business, which is customer service, and everything that we try to do from the bag drop to answering the phone is a smile on your face. And when you can't, or you have a mask on, or if you are 6 feet away from somebody and you can't help them with their golf bag, it really goes to almost everything opposite of what we try to do as an entertainment business, which is golf. So it's, again, I'm going to just go back to that mental health element. You gotta stay positive, because people are looking for us as business owners to be that leader and to provide a safe atmosphere and to do everything we can to protect our guests and our staff. So I think the difficulty is, you walk around and you try to, give a high five to one of your employees or something like that. And and again, I'm not trying to be a doggy downer, but it's very serious. The people are very serious when they come in, and our staff, you see the tenseness. So I think there's other elements that are really unknown as we go forward with this. And I think we're going to have to really get creative to still have people want to come to work and still have a smile. Are we going to be able to sit in the lunchroom anymore together and talk about different things? It's a little scary, because I just think we're going to have to really come up with some creative ways to keep that human element and that excitement of getting up in the morning and coming into work.
You're right, Bill. And that's the word that I've used is, just trying to be creative and find new ways to interact. At the end of the day, that's why, we've initiated all these Zoom opportunities, and like our business builders, no one's really doing business right now, as you know, but boy, they love it because they see everyone's face. Everyone's checking in. It's that mental health check-in. It's what have you heard? And at the end, it always ends very positive, and kudos to each other. And it's important right now. I'm not saying, we have to, stand around in rainbows and unicorns, but there is that mental piece of it that you're right. It's important that we stay connected and we keep our chins up and communicate. One of the interesting things that came across the webinar that we sat in on Tuesday was communication with your employees. It can't be a text. It can't be, hey, you're coming into work on this day and these are the rules. It has to be this. It has to be a Zoom. It has to be a phone call, or even just checking in with your employees if you haven't seen them for weeks, or, make sure or have weekly meetings. Like I know James is having weekly conversations via Zoom with his staff, and, how are you doing, and making sure that you have those people want to stay connected. So don't just text them, invite them to a Zoom and make it more about personal than business at this point. So just my 2 cents for what it's worth. So is there any more questions out there? We do have a couple of comments that I would like to share. Is there any more questions out there that anyone can think of? Oh, someone did put something in chat talking about cash. So speaking of cash, Some Heartland banks and gas stations are getting some counterfeit $20 bills, FYI. Okay, good to know, Teresa. Thanks for sharing. Everybody get your credit card out, I guess. So Scott Van Epps wanted to share that he's very sorry, Bill, for your dear friend, and he appreciates your positive interaction with the youth at the golf course. Bill and all can be confident that the school district is engaging in social and emotional support throughout this difficult time. Thank you, Scott, for sharing that. Carrie said she does applaud the township's effort, and she's very much appreciative of your actions. So thank you so much. Awesome. Thanks for the nice notes, you guys. Kevin Brennan said, I appreciate the resolution and the communication. The parks are great and we are using them all the time. Awesome. Thanks, Kevin. So there's no other questions at this time. Oh, but wait. Carrie, I will try. She wants to know if we can do a Zoom with the school's admins.
Oh.
That's a really good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Chuck Hughes loves to talk to me, so. And we have someone that's interested in applying for the farmer's market, Kathy. So is there, do you have a phone number that we could share?
Sure. The phone number is 810-599-7603. And the email is heartlandmarket2004@gmail.com.
Okay, I put the phone number and the email in chat. Hopefully I got it right. So Kathy, you can call Kathy. How's that sound?
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, you can do that, but I would do tea time online.
Oh, someone's asking about the polo event. Right now, the Heartland Polo Classic has been postponed to August 8th, and it is, I don't even know if it's tentative or not. I saw an interesting infographic yesterday. I've read so much like you all, I can't even remember where I saw it, but they're thinking that events won't even start happening until September. So we will see. I will share with you that most chambers throughout the state, I would say, when I say most, I would say probably 95% of chambers or more have all canceled all of their high revenue summer festivals for the summer and the fall. Some for the year, some are just cleaning the slate and gonna kind of look at 21 as their kind of big restart. So just FYI, interesting information. See if there's more questions come out. Is there any more questions anyone have? You are so welcome, Kathy, on the farmer's market. She said, thank you. So does any, do any of our panelists have anything else to add or any comments since we're having just some discussion here?
No, I think we've pretty much covered it. And again, I just, everybody just try to do the best you can and reach out and just say hi to be good neighbors like we always are. But if you haven't spoken with somebody for a couple of weeks, just maybe drop them a line or give them a call. And I think this warm weather this weekend, I think is going to be a warm welcome, right? At the end of the day, I think we're all going to be looking forward to getting outside, maybe getting some things done around the yard, and yeah. But everybody be safe. And again, thanks Kathy and James and Larry for being on board with us today. And I think we got a really good team here with between the chamber and the, you know, our Friendly by Nature program. I think this is going to be an opportunity for us to shine as a community and work together and try to get through this the best we can. And nothing's going to be the same for quite a long time, but at the end of the day, there's also opportunity. And let's take a look at where those are. And if you come up with a good idea that you think other chamber members can utilize to better their lives or their staffs, I think we should try to open up and share those things for people so we can all succeed.
I appreciate that, Bill. Ditto. Thank you so much for your time today. You know, I think these Zooms at noons are getting some traction, and it's really important that we hear from each other, like you said, and support each other. So thanks again for joining us. And, you know, with that, I think, you know, that looks like the sun's trying to come out. I don't know. So I just, you guys all have a wonderful day, and keep a lookout. We'll be sending some, we're getting really good information from the state and tools and resources that businesses can use. Oh, thank you so much. We're getting a few thank yous. I'm just kind of looking at these chats and things like that. Okay, everyone's just saying thank you. So thank you everyone for saying thank you. All right, well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. Again, Bill and Hartland Township team, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank
Katie.
you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.